Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Missy Money channel. I'm Missy, I'm a mom of 3 and the owner of Missy Money, a small business that specializes in minimalist and aesthetic cash stuffing essentials to help inspire and motivate you on your personal finance and budgeting journey. Today, I'm going to be cash stuffing my second paycheck of August, including variable expenses, sinking funds, and savings challenges. Stay tuned. Alright guys, paycheck 2 of August. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and start by unstuffing my leftover variable expenses, seeing what I've got left over from this last pay period, and deciding if I'm going to roll it over into the next pay period or unstuff and contribute to savings challenges. So for groceries, I've got $15 left. I will go ahead and unstuff that. Gas, I've got $10 left. I think I'm going to roll that over to the next pay period. Spending, it looks like I've got $12 left. I will go ahead and unstuff that. Say Yes is fully spent. Be Kind, I did not give out this week, so I will go ahead and roll that one over. And then miscellaneous, I have a single dollar left, so I will go ahead and unstuff that. So that is it for unstuffing my wallet. And I will just go ahead and put this money over into my cash tray and contribute it to savings challenges towards the end of this video. So this week was actually a pretty significant week for us because this week marked the first week that we had a pretty substantial change to our paycheck breakdown. And so our household finances up until this point, our biggest expense, honestly, it is really close, if not supersedes our it's very close to a mortgage payment, was childcare. And that's because we were paying for not only schooling for the big kids, but while Callie was still not able to go to school, we were also paying for a sitter most days. And so so now we are at the point where Callie's going to be headed to the same school that the bigs are in. And so that puts them all in the same place. And while there's some, before school, after school care that comes with that, the reality is our sitting hours are going to go down dramatically. And so our childcare as a whole is really, really coming down as a big expense for us. And this is the first week that happens. So prior to doing this paycheck breakdown, I was cash stuffing about $1,300 for our household every single week. With the change that we are undergoing starting this week, I am going to be cash stuffing $1,650. So $350 difference in how much money we are cash stuffing. Now that is amazing timing because as I continue to try to save up for our magical vacation savings challenge, it's allowing me to really make headway on that because that vacation will happen in March. And so we're getting to the point where we really need to get comfortable with saving for that to stay on track for saving for that vacation. But after that, after we're kind of through that vacation, it's really going to free up a lot of dollars. And honestly, I kind of took a from scratch approach in planning this paycheck because I also wanted to give myself a little bit more grace in some of the variable expenses that felt kind of tight week to week. And then a little bit more contribution to some of the sinking funds that felt really important as well. So this is a brand new paycheck breakdown for me. So that's really exciting because it means that I get to kind of do something different and hopefully I'm going to reach some goals, particularly in my sinking funds and savings challenges, just a little bit faster. So I did go ahead and print out my paycheck breakdown and cash planning sheet from my digital budget planner. I did want to mention somebody had a great question on this, so I just wanted to mention it in case other people had a question. But your paycheck breakdown and cash planning sheet and actually your monthly goal sheet on the digital budget planner is formatted to print to a sheet. The only thing you need to do to make sure that it'll print to your sheet is when you go under print in your print settings, you're going to want to check the scale and you're going to want to change the scale of the print to a single page. If you do that, it'll print exactly like mine just printed out here. So I oftentimes will use my cash planning notepad and kind of take down from my digital budget planner to have that off to the side. But because I got that question and because I changed so much on this, I did want to show that, again, you can have a printed out version that you use when you're doing your cash stuffing as well. If you like kind of having the paper off to the side to be able to just double check your denominations. And I definitely will need to do that this week because I did change a lot. Like I said, I kind of planned this from scratch. And so I am going to go ahead and check this very closely because most of my denominations and amounts that I contributed across the board are very different than they've been. So I'm just going to, like I said, have this off to the side. Let me just make some room here. All right, and as I mentioned, I am cash stuffing quite a bit more than what I used to, but this is going to be my new norm now. So I'm cash stuffing $1,650. You can see the different denominations that I grabbed, and I'm like sad about this new phase of life because it means that the kids are getting bigger and it's going to be a change, but I'm also just so excited for the opportunity to have them all under kind of the same plan. They're going to the same place. They're going to have that experience together, and we absolutely love their school and just being able to kind of have the time back of not having to plan different things for all the kiddos is going to be hugely enabling for us as well. And Callie's really excited about it. She's talking about going to school with Bubba and Sissy, and she gets that that's happening, and she's really excited for it. So we're both, it's bittersweet, both sad about this kind of entering this new world, but excited for her because she's really excited. So cash is in the cash holder, and I'm gonna go ahead and get back out my wallet, and we will get our wallet all squared away for the week. So let's see here what we got. So groceries I did not change at all. I'm gonna do $200. That seems to be working well for us for groceries for the week, so we'll just keep going with that as long as we can. If we need to adjust down the road just because of the cost of groceries, we will certainly do that, but right now that seems to be about right for us. Eating out is getting $150. I'm gonna do that as a $150. That is bumped up a bit. I think I was at $140, so it's a little bit more than what I was previously stuffing there. Gas, I kept the same at $50, so I'll just add a $50 to that. I had $10 left over from my last pay period, but we'll just roll that over. Spending money, I did bump up from $30 to $40. Give myself a little bit of grace there. It's also just some flexibility as we're heading into the season. I am learning very quickly, having gone through our first preseason actual game, that this season is just a crazy time. So having a little bit of flexibility in that spending, and then a little bit more flexibility in the say yes for the kids, I think will be really, really beneficial. So all right, say yes, be kind. I'm going to add $5 more into, so we will go ahead and just pop that in. And then miscellaneous, I actually changed to $50, and I did that as 2 20s and a 10. Again, just giving myself some bill flexibility in miscellaneous, but and then increasing the total contribution there by $10. So that is it for my wallet for the week. And then next we will go ahead and move into long-term sinking funds here. And one of the things that happened this week is one of you all had the best order for like fall dashboards. So you're moving into the cozy fall vibes. And it is so stupidly hot still here in Ohio, so I'm not quite ready for that, but it was starting to get me into the fall mood. So I will probably swap out my dashboards when we get a little bit more into fall, but it definitely was making me excited. The person that ordered got some fall dashboards and like some winter and holiday ones. It was getting me ready for that fall feeling. So hopefully the weather kind of makes a shift here, because I like really enjoyed summer. I really enjoyed, being able to go to the pool, but I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm ready for a little bit of a seasonal change. All right, emergency is going to get $50 this week. So that will put emergency at $500, $600, $650, $670, $690. But it has still been ridiculously hot. Like we had to move practice into an indoor for one of the days because it was so hot that like all of us were, it was too hot to be outside on the fields. So so it's been really, really, really hot outside. All right, insurance is getting $30. So I will do that as a 20 and a 10. So that'll put insurance at 100, 200, 20, 40, 50, 55. All right, home is getting $50 as well. So that will put home at 500, 600, 700, 750, 770, 790. Actually, I'm stuffing again at night, which is not my norm, but we stayed a little bit late at the office today because we were practicing with the cheerleaders. Kind of they have a whole new intro for game day this year, and it's super exciting because it feels totally different, and we had some kinks that we needed to work out for the pregame show and kind of practice with them. So super excited about it. Like they feel really good about it, and it feels kind of new and kind of iconic and something that we will last us for a little while, but it's kind of fun. I used to dance growing up, and so it's kind of fun to get back into that world a little bit and be able to use that background. I danced all the way through college, really, through undergrad, and so it's kind of exciting to get back into that world a little bit and be able to pull a little bit on my knowledge and just, you know, passion for that area into my new job. So it was super fun, and just excited to see the girls and see all of it come to life. So car, I just added $15 in. I think I did add that, hopefully. So car now has 500, 600, 700, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35. 99% sure I added that in, but even if I didn't, that's okay. All right, subscriptions is getting $20. So subscriptions now has 500, 20, 40, 50, 55. So 555. And the last condensing, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I added a lot of placeholders. It was a huge condensing. I think it took $6,000 back to the bank. It was a really big one. So check that out if you haven't had a chance to see it. All right, annual passes is getting $20 as well. So annual passes now has 100, 200, 250, 270, 280, 85. And then birthdays is getting $30. 20 and a 10. So birthdays now has 100, 200, 20, 40, 50, 55, 60. So 260. St. Jude is getting $10, which will put St. Jude at $20. And then medical is fully funded to where I want it to be. So that is it for my long-term sinking funds. Next is my short-term sinking funds. So let's go ahead and see what we are doing in this one. So shopping is getting $30 this week. That will be a 20 and a 10. So shopping will now have 50, 100, 50, 70, 90, 200, 10, 15. So 215 into shopping. Clothing is getting $30 as well. So clothing now has 100, 150, 200, 20, 40, 50, 55. So 255. Date nights. Date night is getting $20 this week. So date night now has 50, 70, 85. Family fun is getting $30 this week. So family fun now has 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 240, 245. Self-care. Self-care is going to get $20 this week. So self-care now has 50, 100, 120, 130, 140, 145. Lola and Luna are getting $25. So Lola and Luna now have 100, 150, 200, 20, 40, 50, 55, 60. So 260. Gifts is getting $30 this week. So gifts now has 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 70, 75. So 175. And then school is getting $50. So I up the contribution here. So school will now have 50, 70, 90, 110. And then Oops is getting $30. So that will put Oops at 50, 100, 50, 70, 90, 200. All right, guys, that is it for short-term sinking funds. So before I pull out my first savings challenge, I'm just going to adjust my cash tray here to take my leftover variable expense dollars and pop that into the cash tray. 10, 10, another 5, and then a couple of 1s. Perfect. then we will start with the 52-week savings challenge. So we are on week 33. Oh, I do not have a pen. Hold on one second. All right. So let's go find number 33. Starting to get towards the back of this challenge, which is crazy. 10, 20, and do I have? I sure do. I have 3 singles, so I have exactly $33. If I didn't, I would have just rounded up to 35, but in this case we got it, so we'll use them. And that will be, this is one where I might want to start doubling up a couple of weeks because I want to make sure that I've got time to finish the challenge, unstuff it, and kind of show you the full cycle. So if you want to start the 52-week challenge at the beginning of like the calendar year for 2026, that you can kind of see a full cycle of it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I did that last year, and some of you said that that was helpful to kind of see it and see the unstuffing and then have a chance to order it to be ready for the new year. So maybe I'll start doing that for a couple weeks and just get a couple weeks ahead. All right, that is it for the 52-week savings challenge. Next, we will move into the 12-month savings challenge. And I actually got a jump on August because I was able to start this during my magic month week, the last week of July. So I'm actually a good part of the way through this challenge already. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do $130 this week, because then I'll be able to even out my rows here. So that'll take me all the way to this one, which means I really won't have that much left for the following week. So I'll be in really good shape for this. So let's go ahead and fill all these in. Awesome. So I'll be really close, I think, to finishing it next week, if not be able to finish it all the way, which will be great. All right, guys, that is it for the August challenge for this week. Then next, we're going to pop into the holidays savings challenge. So holidays is definitely one that I picked up how much I'm contributing. So I'm going to first pop back to Christmas and do Christmas, because this is just one I do every single time. So I'm going to do $40 to Christmas. That way I've got that contribution done and ready. There we go. And then let's go back. Celebrate is fully funded. Halloween. What do we want to do? What do you think? Should we finish out? Let's finish out the row. So let's do a 20 and a 10. You guys hear the crickets? Cash stuffing at night again, and I feel like they're so loud. Sorry if you do. All right. Or maybe it's like a good vibe, like ambient noise. And then you've also got Lola, who's like making old lady dog sounds in the background too. Lola, you all right? Calm down, sis. All right, so that is good for Halloween. Let's do 15 for Thanksgiving. Do the same thing and kind of even out the row here. So I'll need 10 and a 5 for that. Losty, girlfriend. You all right? Let's lay down and chill a little bit, huh? All right, so that is in a good spot for Thanksgiving. And then let's see if there's anything. New Year's is $5 and I've got a 5, so let's go ahead and fill in one of those. Why not? I love the symbol on this one. Just filling in the little liquid on it. I think it looks really cute. All right. And then I don't have any more singles, so I think the rest of it can go to Magical Vacation Savings Challenge. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll move on to that one. All right. See what we've got here. So we have actually got $300 in $100 bills left. So I'm going to go ahead and 200 of it I'm going to put towards other for our cruise fare. Got a lot of that sitting in the bank because I've got a lot of placeholders. So that finishes out that row for other. And then that other 100, I think I'm going to come up here to accommodations, and I think I might actually put all $150 that I've got in big bills towards finishing this row for accommodations. So got 1, 2, 3. Guys, that takes me to my last row. I only have one more row to go on accommodations, which is huge because that is my second biggest challenge behind other for our cruise fare. That is gonna feel so good when that one is done. All right. I've got 2 20s and a 10. What should we do? Let's fill out of tickets because I can use one of the 20s and a 10 for that. Getting close on tickets too, on the second to last row. Boom. And then I'm just gonna pick a $10 challenge. Sure, let's just put it in entertainment because I don't have any challenges in here that are $20 exactly. So I'm just gonna pick $10 challenge. That'll enable me to fill out the rest of this row for entertainment. And that was really great progress. So that is it for the Magical Vacation Savings Challenge. And that's it for this cash stuffing, guys. So thank you to all of you that have been following along my journey. For those of you that leave the kindest comments and just words of encouragement, or even just like funny comments. Like some of you just every single week come with just quick-witted humor and things that make me laugh and smile, and I'm just beyond grateful for all of you and the way that you all engage on this channel with the shop, just in all the ways that you support. So thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with me. I love this community so much, and I'm just so grateful for you all. So as always, if you are following along and on your own personal finance journey, if you're cash stuffing right along with me, just know that I'm rooting for you. And as always, want to wish you a simple budget, a calm mind, and a happy life. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.